What is the purpose of life? To find something that is way bigger than yourself and then spend the rest of your life in the dissolution of it. Good morning, welcome back to the weekly Khud. This is in the Khud 137 on 19th of March 2023, 9:08 am. And just before recording, I was trying to check if there is, because last week's session when I recorded in the Khud session, through the microphone there was this constant buzz in the background, which it made it very difficult to then process it, and it was not sounding as good as I wanted to. So today I woke up at 3:40 am. I did not eat the oatmeal, I ate ragi bites, Tata Soulful. I took Snowy down. The major points I want to cover in this, the first one being physical writing, adoption, and then drop. So I think in the beginning of the week I did record one Notion. So woke up at 4:13 am, read the Nansai part myself for the first time. So basically this entire week I transitioned to completely reading the part, and no portion of the part I'm listening to the audio now. I'm just reading all of it. Watched a bad normals geometry notes tutorial on morphing and SDFs. Kind of complex stuff, but yeah, nice. I love geometry notes. Then the day started with a full-time job call at 11:30. On the call I gave a 3D video idea. I need to put together a treatment video and share. Also there's another 3D video that has come in for the brand. So the week has started with some nice 3D work for the full-time job. But that's work, I have to figure out some episodes. Okay, yeah, this small things I've learned, this is important. There's one problem I face every project in Blender. When adding follow path constraint to camera, it just doesn't seem to work. There is a blue relationship line that's way off for some reason. Solution for that is to clear the location properties of the camera in the end tab to 000, then it works. But 14, 15, 16, what I thought was I will just go and write it down like the vlog instead of typing it on Notion. And that's why the point I'm trying to say here is physical writing, adoption, and drop, because then I have switched back to writing to Notion or typing into Notion, because that makes a lot more sense. It's a lot more practical. However, I will go through these pages. So in the Khud 137, you also see it's a hassle that I have to set up the camera overhead, although for that I have also ordered another boom stand, so that will be easier once that comes in. But even then I have to take the book and record it this way. And then Tuesday, woke up at 4:15, oatmeal, Snowy. Writing again feels good. This is a skill that is unlikely to ever go away because of how ingrained it is in my system, but I've definitely lost touch. Also, so much of life has recently been digital, everything on the computer. Typing this, typing that, doing an analog activity like this feels refreshing. I've been really struggling to get the first video on the channel edit together. Strategy I opted for does not seem to work here. I was trying to do this strategy where I will just let OBS run, like right now it is running, and figure out the whole thing that has to be done and then cut that video down. So the entire OBS footage ended up to be like 3-4 hours, or at least 2.5 hours. Cutting it down to like a 10-minute video is an insanely difficult task. So I have switched, or I will whenever I record the video, to another strategy now where there are 3 phases to recording the tutorial. The first phase is where I just basically don't worry about anything and try figuring out how that certain effect or anything in After Effects or Blender, whatever tutorial I'm making, how is that to be achieved. Then in the second phase I hit record on OBS, and within 5 or maximum 10 minutes whatever I did figure out, I will just quickly recreate that from scratch. Now once that is done, in the third phase I will add my voiceover to that 5-minute video which is already edited, and a little bit of my camera head. So after those 3 phases I have my entire video ready. Segue to switch lanes. Small edit for full-time job. Trying to edit YouTube videos are very mentally exhausting. 2 good things. I sent the hard disk to Worley through VFast. The hard disk I had gotten from a studio for the full-time job stuff. Free downloads on the website is working with simple login or sign up. However, for accepting payments, PayU India is not allowing me to set up an account. Very strange. And that's not just PayU. I tried Razorpay, cash-free payments. I tried all of these, but they just won't allow me to set up a UPI on my website. I don't know why. Maybe because there's not a lot of traction, but there will be traction. I'm trying to be prepared. Why is that a problem? Just watched MKBHD watching his old YouTube videos. I feel I've been overthinking putting videos out beyond necessary. I need help. So the second point I'll talk about is closer to Guru in gym and travel, loneliness. As you know, and as I've been documenting on this vlog, that I've been for the past, I don't know, maybe it's close to 2 months or something like that. For a while now I've been doing the Amrit Vela part at Amrit Vela, getting up at 3:30. What that has done is it has massively impacted my life in the sense that I feel the presence of Guru, and this is a terminology you will not understand if you're not aware with the concepts or overall philosophy of Sikhism. I'll probably make videos on Click Reflect about it, and I'll get to that. That's the third point. I feel a lot more closer to Guru, as in I don't feel. So what would happen is I've written gym and travel. So I went to office on Thursday, and every day I go to the gym. When I do go to the gym, there are two things. Either I'm listening to tracks of body pump and I'm doing the body pump class, or I'm listening to some music, like calm, soothing music on YouTube Music. I used to do that earlier, but now every time I have an opportunity to just listen to something, I try not listening to just random music. I try listening to either the Nitnem part, which is Jap Sahib and the entire thing that I do, or I can listen to like Vaheguru Simran, and that makes me feel like there is Guru with me and I'm not alone. In contrast, if I'm just trying to listen to music, I feel a little alone and a little lost, which did not used to be the case earlier. But now I feel a lot more secure and protected when I'm listening to something which reminds me of Guru, like Prince of Guru in my life. Even on Thursday when I went to office, in the train for the 1 hour that it takes to travel, I would listen to Maskeen Ji's Katha or Pai Sarabjit Singh's Katha, which is also good. But this time I again heard the Nitnem part, the entire 1 hour part. And while coming back, I heard Rehra Sahib. So again, these are like elements which are popping up in my life where I feel like I'm trying to prefer anything which is directing me towards God to listen to, in contrast to just random music. Third, purpose of life. What is the purpose of life? To find something that is way bigger than yourself and then spend the rest of your life in the dissolution of it. I don't know who said this, I'm probably paraphrasing it, but I heard it in one of the kathas that I listened to. What is the purpose of life? To find something that is way bigger than yourself and then spend the rest of your life in the dissolution of it. I feel the purpose of my life is for it to be one long study of the Guru Granth Sahib Ji. The text, the meanings, all of it first studied and read and understood, and then presented in the form of beautiful animation so the entire world can appreciate profoundness of the wisdom contained within. And here I close my diary. That's the point. The fourth point, which is again very important to mention here, is CGDive Rigging Treasure Trove. So if you're not aware, there is this YouTube channel, beautiful YouTube channel. I think there should be one video on the homepage itself, because I watch so many of his videos now. This YouTube channel called CGDive. If you want to learn rigging a 3D character inside Blender, there is no better YouTube channel than this channel. And what I did is I bought his course, which is like an in-depth course on Rigify. I bought that course, they were selling it for like $14 on Gumroad, and I will probably go through it in depth. But the point that I was trying to come to is I am now making my first ever animated short, and it is for a full-time job brand. And what I'm trying to do here is go through the basics of character rigging and everything. So here you see Rain, which is from the Blender Cloud. I was trying to mess a little bit with stirring and then put this thing on the table, right, and then she puts her hand behind. But I realized that not everything can be made into an NLA strip, so I'm going to try and avoid that and just go with keyframes here. I now know exactly how to manipulate. Okay, just don't do this. But if I look at the arm, right, I know how to like go about using the arm. So over here, if you check the rig inside Cloud Rig, you will get these layers, and these layers here you see are nothing but these layers. Like, I was always confused about what is all these layers. I would never understand, but they are basically these layers. So if I want to enable the face primary, you see that this button gets toggled. So it's just a slot for different parts of your rig to show up. That's what these layers are doing. This is what I'm trying to do, and I'm going to watch a tutorial by CGDive in which he talks about how you can take a Mixamo rig and then completely use Rigify to, make face rigs and shape keys and everything. And using that, because Mixamo, this is something I searched, can Mixamo characters be used for commercial projects? And Adobe says you can use both characters and animations royalty free for personal, commercial and non-profit projects, including incorporating characters into illustrations and graphics art, which coming from Adobe seems like, wow, that's such a nice thing to do, because Mixamo is very powerful and very, very useful, extremely useful. So thank you, Adobe. Really appreciate you for Mixamo. I mean, all the things that you do wrong with your normal subscription and everything, you've done it right with Mixamo. So the next few days I'm going to be spending, like including today, trying to figure this out, where I do the complete animation the way I want to. I will just give you a gist of what the animation is going to look like. So if I go to the camera view, this is your camera view on the side. I'm going to take my camera and rotate it like first I'm going to start from in here. I'm going to zoom out. As she's stirring, she puts the spoon down, she takes a sip, and when that is happening, that's when we start slow and when we come here, the environment behind has changed. So currently the environment is a kitchen. And again, this is all low poly. I've taken from CGTrader.com. But what I've done is, so I think I've covered pretty much everything. I'm not upset about the fact that even though I've been trying super hard, I've not been able to start uploading videos back on the YouTube channel, because one thing that has certainly come in life is a lot of peace, a lot of fulfillment. There is deep down this assurity that whatever has to happen, it'll happen at the right time by itself. There is nothing I can do to make things happen, because everything is happening by God's and Guru's grace. One thing I think I forgot to cover here about loneliness is the fact that, especially in gym, when I go now and I'm listening to something valuable and meaningful, earlier I used to feel this inside me, like this feeling of chasing, like I would feel like I have to go and talk to people, say hi to people, stuff like those. But now I feel like I'm very content and fulfilled, and I just stay in my own place and I'm just doing my own thing. This past week, a lot of times it has happened that people come to me and they talk to me. I made a few friends this week in the gym as well, which is nice. So this idea of don't go about chasing stuff, just stay in your place, and whatever it is in the universe that you deserve, it will come to you by itself. That is really trying to take shape. On those concluding thoughts, I would like to end today's documentation session. Thanks so much for being in the Khud. I will catch you next week. Peace.